Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Arin Nurzalinda, and right now I will present about my mini research with the title and analysis of Maya Angelou's poetry entitled Still I Rise. So, next slide. Okay, in this next slide, I will tell you about my list of explanation here for the first introductions and then research methodology, result, and conclusions. Okay, next slide in the chapter 1. Okay, in the chapter 1, I will explain about 5 parts. It's about background of the study, research definitions, objective of the study, definitions of key term, and key term. Okay, we start from background of the study. Okay, the background of the study is regarding to Maya Angelou's poetry. She is an author who concerned about the positions of Black women and wish to improve it. In her writings, such as the poem Still I Rise that I use for right now, it can be noticed this poem defines Black feminism and encourages Black women to realize their full potential. Actually, the author went through various processes to complete the analysis. Firstly, the author did a close study of the poem to get better understanding of them, particularly in regards to Black feminists. Secondly, the author wants to over to the source in detail. After acquiring all the essential data, the author continued to assess the difficulties using simile, metaphor, repetition, symbol, tune, and also Black feminism itself. And the writer was able to evaluate the poems by paraphrasing them word by word. Okay, the final step was to draw a conclusion based on the findings of the analysis in this inquiry. Feminist principles were used. The method was utilized to look into the predicament of Black women who rise up as a result of oppression. Okay. The research questions divide into two. For the first, what are Maya Angelou's Still I Rise about? And then, how do Angelou's Still I Rise defy the thought of the dark woman's liberations? The objectives of the study, according to the issues planned, the writer is led to discover dark women's right or Black feminism in Angelou Still I Rise through the more profound examinations. And the definitions of key terms, actually, Black feminism is a part of the woman activist idea that features the numerous hierarchies of sex, class, and race that shaped the encounters of the people of the color and African American ladies. Black feminism rejects the possibility of solidarity bound together sexual orientations, persecutions that is capable equally by all ladies. And then the content of early women's activist examinations mirror the explicit worries of white ladies. Actually, Black feminism liberation centers around the variable connections between white women rights and bigotry. Okay, they dismiss subjugations toward individual of colors. If not, they cannot acknowledge that individuals of the color situated above them in American culture. So, chapter 2 about theoretical review. Okay, in the next slide, chapter 2. Okay. Okay, then actually in here, I will explain about what the meaning of the chapter 2. Yeah, in the review of related studies, Still I Rise that actually intended to be a cool confidence and a pride for the Black woman. I mean the Black feminisms. Yeah, is it totally proper objections to a bias, embarrassment, and requested accommodations experience every day by dynamic and repairing hierarchies, and the equal between subjugations, prejudice, mitigations, war, and addictive based uncanny and activities, all addicts to rise. And here in the part B, in the last is a part A, and right now I will tell you about the part B. Okay, this part B divided into 4. Yeah, a review of the related studies. For the first, theories of metaphor and simile. Yeah, the hypotheses on illustrations are expected to divert investigations to allegorical language that is utilized by Maya Angelou in Still I Rise and some extraordinarily, whereas hypothesis and comparison is expected to clarify whether the analogy is utilized by Maya Angelou. Okay, then now a theory on symbol. Yeah, this theory expected to clarify further representative words, as indicated by Holman and Herman. Imagine is a picture that inspires unbiased, substantial reality that recommends one more degree of importance. It is saying that Joanne exacting an exotic quality with a theoretical. Okay. Then subsequently, such a clue would not be discarded to get the real comprehensions of the artistic work itself. Okay, the third, theory of repetition. The theory of the repetition is utilized to investigate the words or expressions that are rehearsed in Still I Rise. In that show up in a strong syllable or express line refrain, yet in this proposition. This type will be restricted in the redundancy of the expressions line and verse. So the repetition is the point at which, well, if you have a word and use it more than once. Okay. Okay, the next is theory on tone. Yeah, the speculations on tone are utilized as directions to Maya Angelou dispositions as state to mind still arise. The tone got from the Greek standing is a creator recognizable dispositions toward his topic and additional thought of mind. So they express that tone of the poetry, the speaker dispositions toward his subject, his growth, and some point toward himself. Okay, next slide. In the chapter 2, chapter 3, I mean. Okay. Chapter 3 is about research methodology. Okay, the object of the research is in this poetry still arise is which comprise of 8 reference and 43 lines for the most part tells about the soul going the essence. Okay, for the purpose of the study is using the qualitative research, so I will describe about which is the metaphor, which is the simile, which is the stanza, which is the tune and the symbol of this poetry. So I will describe it in a word. And then for the instrument itself, the source used is mostly gained from the poems Still I Rise. Okay, next chapter 4. Chapter 4. Okay, in the chapter 4, okay, the analysis of the poems. Maya Angelou's poetry that will be investigated by a few natural components. It's a comparison, analogy, image, reiteration, tone, and black feminism itself. Yeah. The object of the study of this paper is consists of 8 stanza and 43 lines. Generally tells about the spirit to rise up and about what the confident woman, but they also talk about the black woman outside the poems. Do not say anything as explicitly, but their implicit message can be relatively easy to understand. So the author right now found there are 6 metaphor, 4 simile, 3 repetition, 1 tone, and the author didn't found any symbol in this poetry. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay. Conclusions. Uh, the main issues as Maya Angelou's about CRIs talk about. The first issue is examined by summarizing word by word that contain representation, comparison, repetitions, and symbols show up through this poetry. The author additionally examines the tone of this poetry to know the how Maya Angelou's temperament in this poetry. The second one, the issues get some information about these visions of Black woman, the liberations of Maya Angelou. In Nothing Sub Questions issue, the authors give the previous years demonstrate that Black woman liberations truly exist in this poetry by utilizing audit of the Black feminism right in the US to help the investigations of the first issue. Maya Angelou utilized many expressions that contains metaphor in Still I Rise. Maya Angelou utilized the comparison before she says she will be essence to portray the energetic of her essence, and she utilized the analogy of the effectively communicated how cheerful she is. So the Still I Rise disclosed white men had the individuals of the color with disdain white woman can successfully hurt individuals of the color. The investigations were per word in Still I Rise brought the research that data is a conflict among individuals. So the second issue detailing clarifies about misread person of the color, yeah, still about the color, depend on the survey of Black feminism rights history. So in the end, I'm sorry, there's a lack of signal in here. There is a conflict between a white lady and an individual of color who is appalling since she doesn't have the standards of excellence. From the clarifications of the appropriate response of the first issue, clearly Black feminism liberations show up in Still I Rise. I think that's all about my presentations today. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.